friends, and happy Monday. Welcome to Craft with Us. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Brittany and I'm the head of children's here at the Winchester Public Library. Most everybody calls me Miss B, not because we're formal in any way, just because it's easier to say. All right, friends, so for those of you who picked up our craft bags today, you know we're going to do a spinning star mobile. And these are some pretty simple instructions with a slightly complicated template, but you could probably figure it out. So let's go through the instructions and the contents of the bag. And then if you're just watching, but you didn't grab our craft bag, you can decide if you want to grab the items and craft along with us. So here we go, spinning star. So this is the complicated part, but it's a lot more complicated. It looks more complicated than it actually is. It's a color-coded template because we're gonna have everything fit inside of each other. So it's a color-coded template. So that one we gave you, but you can make something similar yourself. And then you got some construction paper, some different colored construction paper right there. You got some crayons. I have my handy dandy box of crayons right here, but you got a couple different colors. And then some yarn or some ribbon or some string. So not too hard. And then from home, we definitely are going to need a grown-up's help because we're going to be doing some cutting. So we have some scissors, a pencil, and a hole punch. You can use your scissors, but a hole punch is always easier. So if you have a hole punch, go ahead and grab it. Also, if you have some tape and you want to reinforce any holes, or you want to just make sure that your tape is on, or we have a very independent kiddo who wants to do everything themselves but doesn't quite have the handle on knot tying, some tape will do you just fine. So that's what we've got. Okay? So let's get started, shall we? So really, it's just construction paper and some scissors and some creativity if you don't have a template, and some patience, you know my favorite word, if you do have the template. So, all right. So first what we want to do is we're going to cut these out by color, okay? So ultimately, they look like the big one is the blue one, then the middle one is the orange one, and those, see, they have their centers cut out like that. And then the final one is just a full star shape like that. And they all fit inside of each other for when we make our spinning mobile. Okay? So I have these to show you what they're gonna look like, but then I'll show you how I would suggest you cut them out. And this is maybe, friends, where we let our grown-up help us just a little bit when we get started. Okay, cutting the outline out, no big deal. We can have anyone do that. And of course, you can take a crack at it yourself and do it on your own, absolutely. So what I would suggest that you do is we cut out along the edge of our blue, just like that. And because we're just going to be tracing the outlines of our template onto our construction paper, if the centers of these stars get a little choppy with our scissors, that's okay, because this is just a guide. This isn't your final product. So if you're at home and maybe you didn't get a template and you didn't pick up our craft bag, but you have some different shapes lying around, you could do this with circles or with squares. You could do this with any shape you want, and maybe you have some different size blocks or something like that. You could use 3 different size squares. Sometimes it's just a little tricky to get them to fit inside each other, which is why we sort of did this stacked template for you. So the best way to get them out of each other is to do a little snip like this, like that. And now you can stick your scissors in and go around. This is where it's nice to have our grown-up help us just a little bit, like that. And again, if this gets a little bit messy, that's okay, because we're really just tracing it, okay? So you see, and then you can do the same thing for the orange one. You see it's coming out and it's looking just like the one I did before. Okay, so I'll show you how it looks. And then you can do the same thing, and you just do a little snip along each line to get it cut out, because we left you a little bit of room in the center. Again, this is the trickier part, so it's good to let your grown-up help you a little bit. But you'll see ultimately what it looks like. And we just keep cutting and cutting and cutting. And we keep folding. And so say I pretend I cut that whole blue one out. Then we do the same thing and we just fold on the line and we do a little cut right there. And we get our scissors in there, let our grown-up help us. And then we start cutting again on our orange one. And then all of a sudden our orange one is coming apart too, just like that. Okay, so just cut along the inside line for each one. Have some patience, and it's okay if it's not perfect, right? That's okay. But just give yourself some time. If you want your grown-up to help you, they can. If you want to try it yourself, great job. And then before you know it, presto changeo, we have 3 stars all cut out of our template, just like that. The blue one, the orange one, and then the purple one is the little one. Okay, so then what we want to do, this is where we definitely can do it ourselves, friends, is we want to trace each one, the inside and the outside, onto our construction paper, and you can decide what color pattern you want. Okay, so each one, and then what I would do is get creative with your colors. Okay, you can draw a picture, you can draw a pattern on the front, on the back, because the whole idea is that this is going to spin. So you want to have designs on the front and on the back. Okay, and you can cut them out first if you want. It's just going to be easier so we're not coloring on the table or anything like that if you color it and you decorate it before you cut it out. But again, it's totally up to you. So I'm going to do a couple of decorations with this very cool green looking marker. I'm going to do some squiggles. And again, with our 2 bigger shapes, we're going to cut the centers out too. So if you do, oh, I broke my crayon. I got so excited with my coloring, friends. Like that. And you can always go back and add more designs and colors if you want. It's totally up to you. But I'm going to get to the cutting part. Okay, let me move my templates out of the way so I have room. All right, so that's where you use your pencil to trace all of your outlines, okay? So you'll have 3, and this is what they look like, okay? All right, so let me show you how it goes. So, cut the outsides. And it's up to you, friends, how you want to do it. If you want to cut them all out and then go back and trim the insides, or if you want to do each one the whole way first. Totally up to you. This is a lot of cutting, a lot of motor skills here, friends, today. And this part you can definitely do. So you can give your grown-up a break and you can do this cutting. I'm sure you can. Okay? And they might need to help you fold. So I'm going to cut out all of my stars, and then I'm going to come back and cut out the centers of my 2 big ones. That's what I'm going to do. But you do it however you want. And if you have some extra stickers lying around, you can certainly decorate your stars with that. Or if you have markers, or even if you want to paint them, you can do that too. Then you just have to let them dry. But then we get to practice more of Miss B's favorite thing, patience. So break out those watercolors if you want and paint those stars. Absolutely your choice. Okay? All right, there's my teeny star right there. Move my paper over here. And now I'm going to cut my big star out. And then we'll do the centers. And we'll be just about done, just about ready to make them spin. What do you think? All right. Hi, friends who just joined us. All right. All right. There we go. And so So if you're cutting along with me, now might be the time where we start to ask our grown-up to step in, maybe help us just a little bit, just to get those pesky middles out of our stars, okay? All right. So we leave our tiny star. That's good to go right there. Now we have 2 right here. So what we want to do is we want to just do a little fold right in the middle and take our scissors and do just a little snip, because we're going to cut the middles out of our star, okay? And maybe we ask our grown-up to help us with that. Maybe we can do it ourselves, okay? There we go. Let's see now. This is a lot of cutting, friends. So if you need to take a break, that's a-okay with me. This one's a little tricky in some spots, but it looks super cool at the end. So, all right. 1 more star to go after this. And then we'll get out our hole punch. Finish things up. All right, so while I'm cutting, I will remind all of you that we have a fabulous program coming up this weekend. We have music with Mr. Matt Heaton this Saturday at 10:30. And more information is on our website, and you can sign up and party along with us this Saturday. So definitely don't miss that one, folks. And if you missed our craft bags this morning, oopsie, one more little snip right there, and then we're going to cut this out just like we did the big one. And if you missed our craft bags, folks, they go out at 9 o'clock on Monday mornings on the parking lot side door. They're usually on a blue cart outside unless the weather's really bad or it's very windy, and then they blow away. So then we keep them inside, but we'll put a sign on the door. We usually have about 60 crafts, and they are first come, first served. So come take them. And then we go live at 3 o'clock on Instagram every Monday. And if you liked one of the crafts and you want a materials list or step-by-step instructions just like these, but you missed them, just let me know. Just send me a message here through Instagram, and I can send them your way, no problem. All right, here we go. So now we are all set. Okay, it's happening. So now what we do, friends, is we punch a hole at the top of each one of our stars, okay? So we go 1, 2, 3. There we go. Okay, so now we take our ribbon and we tie it or tape it through our smallest star. That's what we start with. And then we're gonna weave it through, okay? Okay, so we take it and we tie a knot. And again, if you want your grown-up to help you, this would be a good time to have them just maybe help you hold the ribbon. And again, if you don't want to tie it, that's okay. You can always grab some tape and tape it into place. Okay, but I'm going to try to tie. Okay. There we go. And then we can trim off the end. Trilla. There we are. We're tied on. Okay. So now we line them up. And if you need to go back and trim it a little bit, that's fine. But also if it's not perfect, that's okay too. All right. So then we weave it through our other 2 sections. We go like this. Oh, we should go through the back. Like this. And then look, it's going to starting to spin. See? And now we're going to weave it one more time into the big one. then what we can do is we can tie a loop and we can hang it onto anything that we want. Okay, look at that. Our spinning star mobile. Look at that, friends. What do you think? Come on. Might get hooked onto each other. Oh, what did Miss B do? There we go. There we go. Oh, there. And it spins. I don't have anything to hang it on. I'll just hang it on my hand. There we go. There it is. What do you think? Pretty cool, huh? That is our spinning star mobile. Oh. Like so. Probably should loop it through the whole way around. So that would be my suggestion. I can untie it and go back and do it. But that might be, then it'll keep your stars nice and sturdy. So you see how I just looped it through this way? Just pull it back and do one so everything stays in place instead of sliding along the ribbon. Kind of tie a knot on each hole. That's going to keep it spinning a star instead of trying to fit back in like a puzzle piece. All right, my friends. So thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Craft with Us, and thank you for making a fabulous spinning star mobile with me. All right, my friends, we will be back next week with another fun and fabulous craft, so stay tuned for that. And as always, my friends, we say, be safe, be kind, wash your hands, and wear your mask. I'll see you next week. Bye. Thank you.